Okay, Ian, in this video we're going to have a look at how we install the client. So when you install the evaluation copy of the software, you get 25 licenses for 30 days. If you go into File, Channel Properties and Licenses, you can see how many available licenses you have. As you can see, I have 75 seats, 73 available, 2 in use. When you purchase the software, you'll get your own unique license pack serial key, and all you need to do is click on Add and paste it there, then click OK, and then that will tell you how many licenses you have available to use. Alright, so if we click on the Network tab here and open up our network, this is where the enumeration happens. So do you have an Active Directory in?
Yes, we do.
Okay, well in your Active Directory, if I expand this out, I can see the clients that are in my finance department, the ones that are in my marketing department, and the ones that I've got in my server OU. Obviously, an easy way of doing that is to right click on my domain, click on Show All, and then this will show me a list of all the machines that have the client installed and those that don't. As you can see here in the Managed box, I've got one machine here which is a server that says no, and my 2 workstations are showing as yes and install succeeded. So you'll be able here to see whether or not the client has been successfully installed and those that haven't got the client installed. So they've got little blue boxes compared to the grey ones. If you don't have machines in an Active Directory, you can browse your work group and then you'll be able to see your machines there. And the easiest way to push the client out to the workstation is just to highlight them, right click, select Manage Computer, and then this wizard will open, and then it's just a case of pressing next, 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 and that will push the client out to the workstations.
And that Active Directory view that you've just looked at, is that real time or is that synchronized in some way?
Okay, that's a real-time view. So as soon as you add a machine to your Active Directory and put them into an organizational unit, all that I need to do is click Show All. It will query your Active Directory, and any machines that are visible will appear in this list. Okay, so we've talked about pushing the client out. In order to push the client out, you must be logged into the domain with an account that has domain level admin privileges, otherwise you won't be able to successfully install the client. The second way is to use a subscription file, and if I click on Create Subscription File, this dialog box will open and I can create a subscription file that will install or update the client or uninstall the client. So what I'm going to do is look at some of the settings. Now in this demo we're looking at polling continuously because we want to see sort of instant results. Obviously we wouldn't do that on a live network. How many machines do you have on your network, Ian?
Got about 1100.
Okay, about 1100. Well, I'm assuming that's going to be 100 megabit switch, yeah?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so polling every 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes will be fine in your type of environment. Most of our customers pick somewhere between 10 minutes and an hour. So if I wanted an hour, it's just a case of clicking on 1 hour, and then every hour it will communicate with the server. Now, this polling interval will happen when the user logs into the computer, and then from that point on. So not all of the machines will all be communicating at exactly the same time.
Right.
Now,
So what sort of network traffic are we looking at?
okay, with a basic poll, we're looking at about 2K per poll, and if you deploy a power scheme to a workstation, that workstation's poll will be about 6K. So it's basically the poll and the power scheme itself. So it's a very small sort of amount of data that's required to actually manage your workstations.
Okay.
If you notice here, I've got this tick box ticked, display the icon in the client system tray. Now you can either have that ticked or unticked. So if I look at one of my workstations here, you can see that the client icon is in the taskbar. And if I click on one of my other workstations, you can see that there's no client icon there. So you can choose whether or not you want that client visible. Most of our customers would have the client hidden. Okay, the next tab is the server tab, and this is basically about the name of the server. So by default we use the NetBIOS name, but you can use the IP address, or if you're going to have the server internet facing, then you can put in the URL of the server. We use port 3133 by default, so if you want to change that you can do. And we also have the ability to configure the client to use the web proxy service. So by default, if I select this to automatic, it will try and communicate with the local area network first to the server. If it gets no response, it will then use the internet to try and communicate with the server. But obviously you need to have that configured here by having the internet address. So if I click on OK and click on OK, that will create an executable file. Click on yes, and there we go, it's created. So you can use any deployment tool such as Prism Deploy, or you can use free tools like Microsoft's PS-exec, where you can push the client out via an IP range, or use a login script or Active Directory. So there's many easy ways of getting the client out. Any questions about that, Ian?
No, I think that just about covers it. Oh, the memory footprint. How big is the client once it's setting on the PC?
Okay, it's pretty small, to be honest. It's about the same footprint size as Task Manager is. So if I look at my PT client, as you can see, that's the actual client application, which is 380k. And then we have the prismexcel.sys service, which is a little over 3 meg. And if I look for Task Manager, you can see there Task Manager is 4.5 meg. So combined, it's just underneath what Task Manager is. So I think it's a pretty small footprint.
Yeah, it's pretty lightweight right now.
Yeah. I mean, we have a unified client, and this client will work with all of our software, so with Prism Deploy and Prism Asset Manager as well, so you don't need to redeploy other clients. Okay, that's the client covered, so next we can have a look at how we manage the machines.